Alrighty, boy, I am overexposed right now, and I don't want to mess with my lighting because I have to shoot more videos tomorrow, and the lighting is good. What's going on, everybody? Sean Pierce Johnson here. Thank you all for joining me. I am, as Aaron says, feeling better and back online. I'm going to celebrate that with a root beer. Oh, that's nice. Left this one in the freezer for a little bit. So it's got some nice little ice chunkies. Let's see who all joining us so far. Only 3 of us right now. Ben, we got Aaron from Albus Band, and we got Sonia. Hello, Sonia. How are you tonight? Thank you for joining us. It's the first time I believe I have seen you. And Jay Steen has just popped up. What up, buddy? How you doing? You guys doing all right today? All right. Fantastic. Well, I did see a comment earlier. This was Ben asking, do I hear the classic Boss HM2? No, that's just sitting up on the orange tonight. What you are hearing today I want you guys to guess, actually. Is it analog? Is it digital? Albus got it right. Or at least half right, I should say. Yep, Aaron guessed it half right. What you are hearing, and I have it on the floor, and I'll bring it up, is the New Neighbor Neuron. This is the brand new preamp pedal that Brian has put out, and it's the Neuron Gain Intelligence is what they are calling it. So it is, well, it's pretty spectacular. I actually just shot the demo of it today, so there's a little taste of what's to come in the near future. And I actually have this plugged into just a flashback too on the floor for echo. I got the Native Audio Ghost Ridge reverb on the floor for the reverb. It's on a haul right now, and I'm actually going direct with this. I have it plugged into a DI box with the speaker simulator, and then going into the interface on my desk. So everything that you're hearing is actually just audio coming from the speakers on my desk. and boy, it sounds really, really good. Let's get back to this chat, see who else has jumped in. All right. We got Janice joining in. Hello, Janice. I know you said that you might not be able to join, but I appreciate that you have joined in with us tonight. Thank you all so much for joining in. We got 9 of us watching, which is pretty good considering that this is a late night thing. That's awesome. All right, what do we got going on here? All right, looks like I've got everybody that's watching, and if more people join in, it'll be fun. How's everybody doing out there today? Everybody have a good one? I know I'm finally feeling more like myself again. Oh, I love my tone print. It's a great tone print. Had a lot of fun designing that one with Tor. Yeah, I'm glad that I'm finally feeling better. Although the camera lighting might suggest otherwise. I wonder if I can change the focus on this. I probably can't if I had to guess, which really bothers me. I don't want to put any stupid filters on it because then it's just going to look silly. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Man, I don't know what happened. I woke up one morning after like some really great sleep. Probably the best sleep I'd gotten in a while too. And I just woke up with that sore throat feeling like somebody just took a knife and slashed the inside of your throat. It's hard to talk, and the worst part was I had no ability to stop last weekend. Visited my family up in LA, and then after that it was oh yeah, I did the live podcast with the guys at Pedalboards of Doom, which was a lot of fun. But again, it was like, all I want to do after a long day of being up in LA is I just want to sleep. I just want to chill, just want to relax. But unfortunately, you know, given the 8-hour time difference, I had to be up and, you know, all that good stuff. But that was a fun time. I had a lot of fun talking to the guys. It's now available on the Fret Talk podcast. So hopefully after I finish this up and I get to the, you know, description and everything, I can put a link down in the description for you guys to take a listen to that. And that was a lot of fun. So check that out if you get a minute. I had a lot of fun doing it. It might become a semi-regular thing too, where I'll jump on with the Fret Talk guys and on Pedalboards of Doom. And it usually happens live here in the States. It's noon on the West Coast and 3 p.m. on the East Coast. So that's usually when it goes down. It was a lot of fun. Those guys were very, very kind. And we talked about quite a few things, namely those JHS pedals that we took a look at a while ago, and also some of the things that we're looking forward to, such as the Neuron. You know, this is kind of getting a little much for me. I'm gonna take that light away. That's a little better. I don't look like don't look quite so ghostly. So that's all that. So, we're having a good time, and I'm glad of it, and there's been a lot of cool stuff coming in. We talked about the Neuron a little bit, and there's a lot more coming in, and we'll definitely get a little sneak peek. Let's check back in with everybody here. Let's see. I'm going to try to make it to the gear swap next Saturday to meet Trombley. Are you talking about Mike from Native Audio? You should hit him up. You never know. Let's see. Did I take off work at all? Only slightly. Not really. But I ended up having to. I tried to not have to take off time and not have to sacrifice any work, but I ended up having to do that. So, I'll make sure to get, Sonia, I'll make sure to put the link in as soon as I am done. Looks like let's see, sneak peek of vids that I shot today. Ben, in a moment, we'll get there. Okay, we have a question from Albus. It looks like we have a little bit of a challenge for every one of us, so let's get in on this. Regardless of the cost, you can buy 1 amp, guitar, pedal, one of each, go. Ben's already made his and it sounds really great. 53 telly with a Klon and a Dumble. Interestingly enough, we'll get to a Klon point in a moment. Let's see what's going on. All right, Sonia says, happy with my Epiphone Tony Iommi signature SG guitar, will be coming in May. Oh, well, you bought a guitar. Very cool. I do like those Tony Iommi SGs. There's just something about them. They got a great vibe. Especially in terms of, they kind of remind me of the Gothic series that was out like in the early 2000s, which was a really fantastic series of guitars from Gibson. So, Aaron, to your question, 1 amp, 1 guitar, 1 pedal. Oh boy. Okay, so if money was no object, I think almost assuredly I would be going with a 1959 Les Paul, like, the 59 Burst. I think that's anybody that knows me and knows my penchant for Les Pauls will understand why that works and why that's a real thing. Hey, we got Terry's G and G joining in, buddy. Thank you all for joining. Thank you so much for coming. All whom are not sleeping at the moment. Yep, we're not sleeping. So yeah, guitar-wise, I'd have to go with the 59 Burst. Just kind of suits me and everything going on. In terms of a pedal, it's really hard to say because I'm one of these fortunate guys with a little bit of a humble brag right now that I don't really have to buy pedals anymore because people send me pedals for demos and to make videos. So a lot of the pedals that I've come across over the last like 5-6 years, I haven't really had to buy because people are liking what I'm doing and they're willing to send me pedals. On the subject of the Klon, which Ben brought up as being his, I have not played a huge amount of actual Klons. I mostly have played clones, one of which is this right here, one of the pedals that has come in, which we'll be doing demos of very, very soon. And depending on the clone, I'm like not that crazy about it. This one's pretty great. We're going to be doing videos of the entire new Matthews Effects line that is coming out. So, yep, we have the Architect, which is Rick Matthews, that is. It's Rick's take on a Klon. And 3-band EQ with an independent boost. So, I'm all about that and checking it out. And I have my own feelings on Klon, especially related to some of the recent happenings with that brand. So I don't really want to go there. But I suppose if I really, really must buy a pedal, I'd probably look for something like an old fuzz face or an old tone bender, like from back in the early days of when, fuzz and pedals in general were really in their infancy, because that's the kind of stuff that I don't run across. Boss pedals that are older are fairly easy to come across and easy enough to be able to afford, but something like a really good fuzz face I could imagine being, one, very hard to find, and two, being rather pricey. And in terms of amps, I like a lot of the Dumble stuff that I've heard, but personally, if I were to want to spend the money, and this is something that I could still do right now, I'd actually like a Trainwreck. I'd like a Trainwreck Express or a Liverpool or something like that. And I, for years, was just like, well, if I want a Trainwreck, I'm gonna have to spend a whole lot of money by something that Ken Fisher built. However, Trainwreck still exists, which I did not know until about a year and a half ago. There are people who still, there's actually the Trainwreck brand still lives and is built by someone that is approved by the Ken Fisher's family to build those circuits, and they know the amplifier. And I actually reached out to him. Wasn't so sure if they did videos. I wasn't sure if that was something that they were really into. But also asked about price. And the one that I would want would be in the neighborhood of like $5,000, which isn't, in terms of, especially with a Dumble, it's like pennies on the dollar comparatively. But I've always found that the Trainwreck sound was much more in line with the kind of playing style that I've cultivated over the years. It's not, I'm not like Robin Ford, and I'm not like Larry Carlton. My playing is much more rooted in classic rock and in rock and roll and classic metal too. So I feel like the Trainwreck is really more along my tastes and really along, it's British inspired as opposed to American inspired. I think the fact that George Lynch has had one for a while is evidence enough that that's kind of the amp that the hard rock guy would end up going for. So those would be my picks. 59 burst, a good fuzz face, a good old fuzz face, and a Trainwreck. I think that's my pick. And the best part is with the new Trainwrecks, you can actually, they will actually name it something that you want if they feel like it's cool enough. So and you can choose different woods for the cabinets, and they'll, you know, burn in a specific image, and you can get half power versions. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on with Trainwreck. I wish I had the money to be able to afford one of those amplifiers, because even the new ones sound really good. So that's me. I'm gonna go ahead and jump back into the chat because I think we have a few more people that have joined in. Evan Ward is in the house. What's up, buddy? Hope you're doing all right. Thank you so much for joining in. Got quite a few people. Here we go. A lot of people seem to like the Stevie Ray Vaughan Soldano, and that was a pleasure. That was a real pleasure to play. Not anticipating something like that, but that was a lot of fun. Something that I really will. I'm glad I had the chance to do that. I'm glad that I got. Glad I had the ability to be able to do something with that. All right. Sonia has got a trike fuzz that Tone King recommended. Those Vox pedals from that time period were pretty good. I wish they would have stuck around a little longer. Vox is a lot like a lot of companies in that they start releasing these pedal lines, they last for a year or so, and then they're just gone. And nobody really has the time to play them. And so before you know it, they're just gone. Kind of like those billionaire pedals that Dan Electro was pushing last year. They're completely gone from the website. The only thing that you can find on the website right now that is any indication that that series existed is the Battery Billionaire, which I think is really funny. Dan Murray in the house. What up, Dan? How you doing, buddy? Thanks so much for joining in. Aaron is saying that there's a lot of pressure to name an amp. Hope they give you a week to settle on one. Well, I've already settled on what I would want it to be, so that's me. We are the few that played through that amazing amp. Yep, it is really cool to think that we got to actually play, us mere mortals, play through Stevie's Soldano. Janice, you like my gestures on the Earthquaker pedal at 10:59. I don't know what I did, but if you liked it, maybe that was an indication that I liked it, because I liked that a lot. We gotta say a big thanks to Darren, seriously, for lending me that pedal. Wouldn't have been able to do that without him. So, Darren, if you watching the replay, thank you so much, my friend. It means a lot. It really does. Ben, of the Soldano, Friedman, and Morgans you played at NAMM, which was the one that you liked the best? So Ben says the SRV amp was best for him, but those Friedmans have serious mojo. Indeed they do. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that maybe the Buxom Betty or the Runt might actually be a good one for you, since the Runt actually has a clean channel. The Buxom Betty, I think, actually no, the Buxom Betty is just one channel. I'm thinking Dirty Shirley, or am I thinking Dirty Shirley? I don't know. Oh well. One of those I feel like might be good stuff for you. Aaron actually asking a question here. Hey SPJ, did you used to work for New Neighbor, and how come I have no idea what your day job is? I did. Yes, I did work for New Neighbor. I worked for them as an artist relations rep and as a digital media creator and director. I worked there like three years ago. Yeah, that was when I worked there. That was the coolest job ever. You know, it was exactly the kind of job that appealed to me. I had the ability to work from home, which was fantastic. I was making videos. I was talking with artists. I met so many crazy people, and great people too. I met Misha Mansour from Periphery and chatted with him quite a bit. Herschel Yatovitz, who plays in Chris Isaac's band, was a big fan of the Wet Reverb. I actually had to play in front of him at a NAMM show, which was really freaking weird. Pete Thorne and Tim Pierce, I had to play in front of them at a NAMM show. Fuck, man. Play in front of Pete Thorne and Tim Pierce at the same time. Jeez. It's like somebody brings Pete over, and then Pete's so stoked on what he's hearing, he's got to bring over Tim. Yeah, no pressure, right? Jeez. You're killing me. I do have photos to prove that. I have photo evidence to prove that happened. So I can remind myself that I didn't crap my pants in front of Pete Thorne and Tim Pierce. Who else? I actually had a really great time meeting with this Christian metalcore band called For Today. Their two guitar players were, one of them was an artist of ours because he handled a lot of the ambient textural stuff that they did in their music. But I went to a show of theirs at the Glass House, and it was a fantastic show. Community was really great. I also found it really funny that at a Christian metalcore show, they were still thrashing around like it's a hardcore show. I guess that's their, well, I don't really know what to say about that. I worked for 3 years in a church and saw some stuff. So it reminded me a little bit of that when the Spirit moves you and the Holy Ghost comes upon you and all that stuff. It was really funny, but I had a great time. It was a great job. I did their first NAMM show with them, and I demoed stuff. I got on videos in Anderton's. Premier Guitar came, and I was in the video there that year. It was a big deal for me. It was a great job. In retrospect, it would be nice to still be working there just because the pay was regular. But my day job now, Aaron, is this. This is what I do for a day job. I'd make these videos. This is what I do. Not the most lucrative career in the world, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We got Todd Flowers in the house. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining in. Oh, Thorn and Pierce? No, thank you. Yeah, that was kind of the feeling at the beginning. You know, Ben, playing at a NAMM booth is actually not nearly as high pressure as you might think. Because, just as a hypothetical situation, 9 times out of 10, this is everything that you're hearing. You know, just craziness. It's cacophony, like bad cacophony. And Cacophony, the band, was not bad. It was Marty Friedman and Jason Becker, for frack's sake. But yeah, it's a little bit, as Evan just pointed out in the chat, it's like Vietnam. It's like war. It's sound war. And, you know, for me, I am much more comfortable with stuff like... So, you know, the fact that I was doing something like that was much more appealing to some of the people who were walking by the booth because they were actually hearing something that was much more musical. And then also because of what Brian does with his DSP, it lends itself really well to textural kind of stuff. So I'd go between those, you know, and then I'd play just songs that I knew or songs that I wrote. So it actually wasn't that much pressure, you know, it was just a lot. It was a lot of playing, and it was a lot of talking, and it was a lot of work. So that's that. Shred Before Dead. What up, buddy? Thanks so much for joining in. Really appreciate you joining the party. He poses the question, all the videos I saw looked like people were digging it. Was it that good? Here's the way that I'm going to put it. I've been playing through some variation at one point in time Friedman since he started regularly building amps, since the Marcia days, back when the BE100 was known as just Marcia. And I've been playing, I've played through just about everything that he's made because I'm a fan of his, and I think that he makes some really great sounding amplifiers. But it was the JJ, the original, the double JJ, whatever it is that they're doing to denote it or call it. That was the first one that I was like, this is it. This is it for me. This is the one. This is the Friedman that I would want. It had all the gain, but it had all the great parts of guitar tone that I love. It had tight low end. The mids sat right where they need to sit. The highs were very articulate. They could get harsh if you wanted to make them harsh, but they could be nice and glassy and smooth. Um, the That's the 100 watt. So the 20 watt still maintains that ability with the sound, the tight low end, those nice mids, and the glassy high end. I didn't feel like it got all the gain that I remember from the 100, but the one thing to remember is it's been about 6 years since I first played the JJ 100 versus the JJ 20. So now that I've had some time between those 2 points, you know, what I remember in my head may not exactly be what occurred at that point in time. All I know is that when I actually played it, I enjoyed it, and it was probably the most enjoyable amp that I played outside of maybe a Benson at the NAMM show. And the thing with the Bensons is those were mostly with pedal guys, so getting to that amplifier, it was those amplifiers was like, well, they sound really great with pedals. I want to see it outside of that context. So, yep. Ben's commenting on the JJ20. Me and a buddy spent 20 minutes playing through it and loved it. And it was a great amp. Jay Steen, New Neighbor was the first great shimmer I heard. Exactly. It was the first shimmer I heard, and it's still one of the better ones. I think the shimmer in the Keeley Caverns, the most recent Keeley Caverns, it gets just a little bit closer to kind of sound with the shimmer reverb that I like to get, which I like something that's a little warmer, something that almost makes it seem like analog shimmer, analog, whatever that is. So there's that. And yep, there we go. So I think I answered that question. I hope I answered that for you, Shred Before Dead. Awesome. Good stuff. What else has been going on since I last saw you guys, other than shooting a bunch of stuff? Got more questions from Aaron. Speaking of Keeley, any plans to demo the Synth One Fuzzbender and Echoes? I'm in talks. I'm just waiting for them to arrive. That's all. Thanks for the info. I'll have to play one. Jonesing for a Friedman. I get that. I get that feeling. Hopefully you'll be able to play them fairly soon. I think it'll turn out to be a really great option to have in their small format stuff. So what else has been going on recently? I actually decided to try a new pick. Not very exciting, but it's something that I decided to try. I've been a big fan of the Dunlop Tortex 3s. So it's basically Tortex material, normal Tortex size with a Jazz 3 tip. And I decided to get some of the 0.60 millimeter ones, the orange Tortex ones, a little bit thinner. And I did that for a couple reasons. I did it because I'm normally using the 1 millimeter, and sometimes when I strum, I can be very heavy-handed. So I wanted to try to, after unsuccessfully being able to lighten my touch, go down in a pick size that I've used before and liked, but I love this tip. I love the articulation of the Jazz 3 tip. And the unfortunate part is they're just not available in stores. So I ended up buying a pack of them over Amazon with one of the pedals that I ended up getting. This is a little preview for you guys of one of the demos that's coming up. This is the Sonicake Rock Stage Sonic Bar. So basically it's a 4-effect multi-pedal. There's a chorus, a rock amp, which is kind of just like a hot-rodded Marshall in a box distortion, an echo, and a reverb. All very simple, all laid out right there. No frills, just very plug and play simple. Does have a built-in cab sim though, which is really cool. But after the what you call it, looks like a fly rig. Yeah, it is that kind of fly rig concept. A lot of this stuff is, we're starting to see a lot of this fly rig concept with very simple multi-effects kind of things. And I think this might even be a little bit smaller than one of those fly rigs. Those fly rigs are actually a lot smaller in person than you would think. But Sonya's just said they're cute and priced right, especially for beginners. And they are priced very right. And they are kind of cute, aren't they? But after doing the Fifth Dimension video, they were so thrilled about it, they wanted to send me this. And it sounds great. It sounds really cool. We'll be having a video demo of that coming up very soon. So there you go. Sonicake Sonic Bar Rock Stage. So it's right up my alley. Another new pedal that I got in and some new gear to try out. Last year we took a look at the Go-To Fuzz from Mid-Valley Effects. Very spitty, kind of gated fuzz, kind of synthy at times. And this arrived. This is the Mid-Valley Effects Double Amp Distorter, which is a very thick, kind of high gain distortion that borders into the fuzz territory. Just a very cool, well-voiced distortion pedal. It's not like a super high gain thing, but it is thick. I mean, it is real thick. So it's got, you know, standard volume, tone, gain, and tone. And there's a clipping selection on a switch that's kind of like a two-way sagging switch, which they say, the guys from Mid-Valley, that if you switch it to one position, it's a little tighter, and another position, it's a little bit saggier. So it works with different kinds of pickups depending on the output. That's kind of the idea there. But we'll have a demo of this coming. I'm not quite sure when, but we'll have it coming soon enough. But still need to go ahead and try this out a little bit more with some stuff. But so far, experimentation has been good. Let's see. Got some new comments rolling in. Albus Band Aaron is saying that this is truly a golden age for pedals and effects. I'll drink to that. It really is. So many good things coming out, and technology is becoming easier to acquire, and now we start seeing other companies starting to try things that they haven't done before, which I think is really cool. So I'm very excited about that. Todd Flowers. I saw Shane from In the Blues demo a version of that. Sounds good. Was it the rock stage? I didn't see when the comment came in. I'm sorry. But I'm assuming that's what it is. I haven't seen any of his recent videos yet, and I am subscribed, which I don't like the fact that I haven't seen those. Okay, yes, the Sonicake. Yep. That's cool. I'll have to check out his stuff and see what he did with it, but I like it a lot. I would also think that the double amp would probably be good for single coils too, Todd. That's kind of my idea. Evan says the fly rigs are cool. Richie Kotzen model sounds especially nice in demos, especially if Richie Kotzen's playing them. I can't believe that he's not using a pick anymore. It's crazy. I got a question from Jay Steen. What is your favorite muff? I just got the op amp. I got that and the tone wicker muff. My favorite is sentimentally and probably sound-wise is probably the op amp. I would have to say. Because I'm a big Smashing Pumpkins fan, and also because my wife bought it for me. It's the first time she's bought me a pedal in our 11 years together. So that's that. So I like that one a lot. Sonia wants one of the Black Country custom Tony Iommi boost pedals. I would love to try those. Those look really cool. Janice says, I just use my micro cubes with chorus and delay and a JC clean setting. That's classic right there. Very classic. Oh, Todd, you're saying it's different than the one I have. Is it the Twiggy Blues? I did see China Guitar Skeptic play the Twiggy Blues. He did that A-B up against his Axe effects, which was kind of funny. What does my wife want? She doesn't want anything. She got it for me a year ago. So if I haven't figured out what she's wanted by now, I'm dead. I'm dead. So yeah, there's a couple things that are coming in. Over the last couple days, I've shot quite a bit of stuff. I'll give you guys one little other teaser coming down the pipeline. And I don't know how much of this I can share, but as I mentioned earlier, I got all the new Matthews effects pedals, and there's 5 of them. This is the Architect V3, and I'm going to be doing videos for the entire new line, from the Architect to the Cosmonaut. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm hoping that it's going to be a good time, and I know it's going to be a good time. I've played this stuff before, so a big thanks to Rick for doing that for me and letting me be a part of the relaunch for them. This stuff is really good, so I'm very excited about that. Other than that, we just did a video of the Fuzzly Bear by KMA Machines, which is a great Jordan Boss Tone style fuzz pedal that we'll be hearing a little bit of in the near future. Pardon the coughing, everybody. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes when I talk too much, I start coughing a lot. So maybe I should just shut up and play my guitar, huh? I don't know. Well, that's that. All right. Let's go back to the chat, see where everybody's at. Speaking of muffs and California, from Aaron. When I was younger, my band was signed and on tour in Hermosa Beach. I jumped off the riser and broke the foot switch on my original Russian muff. Ooh. Yeah, those original EHX pedals were not very sturdy at all. Shred Before Dead. I have a Thorpe Muffroom Cloud. Now Fallout Cloud, cause lawyers. Yes. For all my muff needs. Wasn't cheap, but so good. I have heard a lot of people like those. So, who knows. Since I knew nothing, then I tossed it and bought a regular one. You jerk! Oh, you jerk. Oh, boy. We got a question coming from Charlie S. Hello, Charlie. Thank you for joining in. Hope you're doing well tonight. Let's see what's going on. I'm in the market for a black Les Paul Studio. I'm not a player that likes binding. Do you recommend them? Do I recommend them? Black Les Paul Studio, no binding. Black Les Paul Studio, no binding. I think that kind of answers your question a little bit. No, but I'll actually... Oh, crap. I dropped something. And hold on one sec, everybody. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. The Roman Colosseum is neither Roman nor Colosseum. Discuss. Any Saturday Night Live coffee talk fans out there? Somebody's bound to remember it. I can't be the only one. And I'm only 31. Oh, crap. I just outed my age. So, Charlie, I'll answer your question a little bit better than just that. At the end of the day, a lot of people give Gibson a lot of flack. And they do it because it's cool. Or at least people say that it's cool to give Gibson a lot of flack. And as such, some of the newer guitars don't get very much respect. Now, in my experience, and I have 3 Les Paul Studios. So, my feelings on it are this. None of the Les Pauls I own are bad. I don't own a bad Les Paul. And of the 3 that I have, only one of them did I actually buy myself. The black and silver was a gift. The black with the Bigsby was a gift. And this one, my BFG, that's the only one that I've actually ever bought myself and gone through the whole like traditional guitar buying process. I've never had a bad experience with any of them. So they are good guitars. The question is, whether or not the newer ones, with some of the changes that they've made, are going to be what you want. So try to find, something, anything in the used area. Try some of the new ones, but I recommend them. I love Les Pauls. I think they sound great. The Epiphones are great as well. Don't believe everything you hear through the internet. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Because Gibson is still making fantastic guitars. And you already all figured out that I spilled my drink, and that's exactly what happened. So I had to save the pedals. Save the pedals! Save the pedals. Sonia is over double my age. I'm not even going to ask. I didn't want to ask. But it's nice that you're watching. I appreciate that. Terry says, Gibson elitists will call the studio in special, not Les Pauls. And yes, I have heard this. But, when you tell Phil X that you prefer Les Paul Studios, he understands. Whereas the elitists and snobs are the elitists and the snobs. So whatever. Play the guitar you want. That's the real lesson. Play the guitar you want. Don't play the guitar that people tell you to play. Because if I listened to the guitar people that I had been recommended stuff to play, I'd probably be playing a Sir or a Tom Anderson right now. Great guitars, but not my guitar. Not my guitar. Jay, the closest thing I have to a Les Paul is a PRS 245. It's nice, but kind of heavy to me. Those can be heavy. Those can definitely be heavy. I don't want to figure out my age difference. We don't have to. We don't have to. We don't need to worry about age. It's okay. Music is for everybody, young or old. We're all in this together, man. Come on. Do I have any experience with the Paul guitars from the 90s? I don't, actually, but I know that they reissued it last year, and I would really like to give it a shot and see if it's any good. But that's just me. The studios of the 90s. Yes, Terry, I have heard about the studios from the 90s being a collector's thing. And if you ask me, that era of the studios, I think, carried over into the turn of the century. It's weird to say turn of the century. I think that actually worked its way from like the mid to like early through the 90s, and then a few years into the 2000s, because some of the 90s studios that I've picked up and played actually feel very similar to the 90s studios. So yeah, that would be fun. Jay just said, Reverb did a cool video on Les Pauls recently and made me realize all models are good. You just pay more for the finish and binding and paint. And that's true. That's exactly what you do. The studios are, you know, they're rough and tumble. Usually solid finishes. If there is a transparent finish, the maple top isn't going to be quite as beautiful, picturesque, as the flame isn't going to be quite there. The, you know, bleh, nothing is going to be quite as fantastical on the studios. No binding, no nothing. Just raw, pure, unadulterated guitar. And that's great. Charlie is saying that studios from the 90s were spec'd out with the same electronics and pickups from a custom. Well, that's cool. Now I know why. Aaron says, LP in my neck means lasting purchase because we keep them. But I love these guitars. I think they're great guitars. I don't have any problems with them. And I don't understand the Gibson hate. Gibson's on a really good trajectory right now to be doing some fantastic work in 2019. And hopefully, I have it on good authority, that we'll be seeing some Epiphone stuff soon. Should actually probably get back with my guy about that. I got a guy to get me. I got an Epiphone guy to get me stuff, which would be fun. So, yeah. There's quite a lot going on right now. There's probably a little too much to be touching on right now. I can't show you guys every new thing that I got because some of the things I'm kind of under content embargo for the moment and all that stuff. Here's another little thing that came in the other day. I got to do a video for Carvin on this. They're putting out a little simple guitar wireless deal, which is pretty good stuff. Very simple, low profile, no frills, which is very good. I don't need a whole lot of frills in my stuff. And it works. What more could you want? Aaron hopes I get a 335S guitar. We'll see. We'll see. Right now I'm just hoping for some more Les Pauls. Let's see. Can I show you guys anything else we're getting about to the almost to the hour mark, and it's been a long day. Yep. A lot of people are getting into the wireless guitar thing, and some are good, some are not so good. You know, but there's options. That's the point, which is good. So let's end this with a question, because it is now 9:56. I've had a long day today. Some of you are staying up until about 1 o'clock in the morning. So I would like to know your thoughts on if we should fool around with the time of these things. Should we move it an hour earlier? Should we do something else? Whatever's going on, I would like to see about changing things up a little bit. There's a lot of work coming in pretty soon, so I might have to rework a few things anymore. I know that for Ben, his saying an hour earlier would help. It would probably help me too. Shred Before Dead, he's in my time zone, so it don't matter. That's good. West Coast is the best coast. Perfect for time for Sonia, but for me, maybe just 1 hour earlier. An hour earlier would be good for everyone, I think. I'm in Jersey. Let's go earlier. Agreed, agreed. I'm down for whatever. Just know you cook dinner at your house. Yes, I do cook dinner. And I eat it too, which is important. All right. So let's try that. Maybe next week, let's try this. Let's try this again at 8 p.m. 8 a.m. What the fuck am I saying? 8 p.m. Eastern. No one goes on around 11 p.m. except TTK. And he's on the East Coast. So he's going 11 p.m. East Coast time. Which is, whoa. Whoa. So yeah, let's do that. Next week, let's give it a shot. This channel, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 Central if that is working out, which would make it 4 a.m. in the UK and in other parts of Europe as well, which is fantastic. So yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's go with 8 p.m. next week. I will see you guys again. Hopefully, next week I'll have some more stuff to talk to you guys about, some more new stuff to share. For now, I'm just going to say thank you all for joining me tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get myself chilled out for the night. I'm going to go sit down with the wife and relax for a bit. Until next week, please do come back for more videos. This weekend, Saturday, Stompbox Saturday, is going to feature the radtastic Beatronics Walk to Hell. We also have next Tuesday coming a demo of the Framus Guitars D-Series Diablo Pro, which is fantastic. Next Thursday, I will see you guys at 8 p.m. for another live show. This is going to be a very busy time. So thank you all so much for joining. We had Shred Before Dead, Evan Ward, Todd Flowers, Albus Band, Janice, Sonia, Jay Steen, Todd Flowers, Terry, G, Ben Coombs. That's everybody I see right now. If I didn't say Charlie, I don't know who I said and who I didn't. But everybody watching, thank you all so much. Thank you. Please click the subscribe button. Ring the bell for notifications. Please consider supporting on Patreon. And until next week, my friends, I wish you all great tone, happy stomping, and enjoy